Hello there, my name is Felicitas Kushlango and I will be giving a short talk on emotional intelligence today. And I just wanted to remind you, if you want to have the credits for this Part 2 LMHF Wellness Program, please watch the video in its entirety, and then once you have watched the video, please put your name in the chat box, or the comment box rather, and so that we know that you have watched the video and you can get your credits. So that would be great. Thank you so much for doing that. So the theme of this talk is emotional intelligence. And so a lot of times we will measure, or we will get a measurement of our intelligence, in quote unquote, when we get a sense of how well we can perform certain tasks, what kind of sort of thought processes we can go through. And all of this is very important. However, what has been a stream that has become much more prevalent in the last few years in the fields of psychology and also in HR and also leadership is, what is my emotional intelligence and how can I cultivate emotional intelligence? So most of us have a really wide array of emotions. So we can be happy, we can be melancholic, we can be joyful, we can be sad, we can be desperate, we can be embarrassed, we can be ashamed, we can be devastated, we can be hurt, and so forth. So there's a lot of different nuances to our emotions. So when we go for our day, we have a lot of different emotions. What happens though is that a lot of times we have categorized our emotions into two buckets. Here are some good emotions and here are some bad emotions. The good emotions are usually when we feel peaceful, relaxed, joyful, happy, and so forth. And the bad emotions, the so-called bad emotions, are when we are angry, frustrated, impatient, restless, ashamed, embarrassed, and so forth. So our tendency is that when we are in a state of quote-unquote good emotions, we probably want to stay there. When we feel peaceful, we don't want to be like, oh no, I don't want to be peaceful anymore. Oh, I would love to stay in this peaceful state. We all know that emotions are not permanent. So sometimes we think, oh, I'm so happy at the moment. I don't think I will ever be sad again. But then a couple of days later, something really upsets us and we are sad. So there is no way of escaping our feelings, our emotions. What we can do is to manage our emotions, or rather honor them, I think would be a better word. And when we honor our emotions, first of all, we get to know ourselves better, and also we probably will make some better choices. So, and we probably also, I just want to add this, we will take better care of our health, mental and physical health. So let's say that you have to go into a meeting and you have had some really difficult news in the morning and you feel a little bit vulnerable. You feel a little bit upset. So you go into this meeting and rather than acknowledging this fact that there are these emotions that are present for you, you're kind of shoving them away. I'm pretending they're not there. I'm going to be just as if nothing has happened. So then during the meeting, what happens is that maybe a coworker tells you something that is, some feedback that is a little bit difficult. And rather than just sort of accepting that, you burst out in tears. So what happens is, because your emotions are going to come out, but maybe in a way that is then more difficult to handle. So how could we apply emotional intelligence in a situation like that? So let's say that you have to go into the meeting and you have these feelings. And when you sit down for the meeting, you can just say, I'm really glad that I'm here for this meeting. I just want to let you know that I'm a little bit raw and vulnerable, and so please excuse myself if I'm a little bit emotional today. So this will give your coworkers just a really good way of gauging your reactions, and it will be a great way for you to acknowledge your feelings and honor yourself in that moment. The same goes for when we are angry. So there are states of anger that are rage, and they're very difficult to control. However, if we are angry about something, because anger is not seen as a quote-unquote good emotion, we often tend to repress our anger. We tend to pretend, oh no, everything is fine, no worries. But inside, we may be steaming with anger. So in the context of emotional intelligence, we treat the emotions that are coming up not as something that we have to crush or change, but as information. If we are angry, there may be a really good reason that we are angry. But before lashing out and just reacting out of that anger, what happens if we actually acknowledge and honor, oh yeah, I'm angry. Let me just take a moment to understand why I may be angry, and just to feel, what do I need in order to address this anger? So, in other words, when emotions come up, we want to honor them and also not judge them. So for those of you who have some experience in mindfulness meditation, you will know that during our mindfulness meditation, when emotions come up, we don't judge them. We don't treat them as like, oh my God, let me just push that emotion away. That's a bad emotion. No, we honor the emotion, and then we go back to, in mindfulness meditation, this is to an object of attention, which can be counting our breath or feeling our breath and so forth. In fact, a good way to become more fluent in emotional intelligence is mindfulness meditation, because mindfulness meditations allows us to watch or to witness the emotions that arise without judging them. So there are a number of courses in this wellness program that LMHF is offering. And so if you're interested to work with your emotions and to honor them and to not be so much reactive or a victim to intense emotions, you may want to try mindfulness meditation. Because I do think, as somebody that has intense emotions, mindfulness meditation really has helped me to negotiate my intense emotions. And so please, you can watch the introduction to mindfulness, which gives you a little bit of a context and gives you some really basic instructions how to do mindfulness meditation. And there's also a video that's about just under 10 minutes long with a mindfulness meditation practice. You can also do that. And you can slowly start to become more friendly towards yourselves, and also to be more friendly towards your emotions. And you will find that your relationships are probably going to improve. But more than anything, your relationship with yourself is going to improve, because everything that you feel is valid. and is important. And if we tend to our emotions, we will have a more positive relationship with ourselves. So thank you very much for listening to this emotional intelligence presentation. And if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to email me. Thank you.